Freaky stuff. Okay, so the first extraterrestrial I saw was riding a bike in the sky and wanted to phone home. But lately, UFO sightings have been getting quite a lot of attention, including from our federal government. A highly anticipated report from intelligence officials on UFOs found no evidence of extraterrestrial activity. But hold on, Stranger Things fans, because they can't rule out the possibility of an alien spacecraft either. U.S. officials said the report also does not rule out the possibility the flying objects could be highly advanced aircrafts from other nations. Earthly nations? We don't know. Joining me now, Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi, astrophysicist and author of a wonderful new book, A Quantum Life, which comes out June 15th, and also an HBCU graduate right out of Tougaloo College in Mississippi. So happy to have you join me this morning, Hakeem. Thanks for being here. I think the question everybody wants to know is, are we alone in this universe or what?
Well, thanks for having me, Tiffany. I'm so happy to be here with you. Well, it depends on how you define alone. So from the astrophysicist perspective, our job is to look at the universe, observe it rigorously, and then allow it to tell us what it is and what it's doing. And so from what we can see, we believe, well, I wouldn't even use the word believe, but it's highly likely that life in the single cell form is probably ubiquitous across the universe where it can exist. But when we start talking about advanced life, if you look at the example of Earth, for something around 90% of Earth's existence, if you had come here before the last 600 billion years, you wouldn't see a planet full of life like you see today. It's only the last 600 million years since the Cambrian explosion that we have this planet full of life. And even then, only one technologically advanced species, which is ourselves. And for those of us who study this, we know that Earth is so special in so many ways that the chances of repeating this somewhere nearby is incredibly slim.
All right, so you know, we've got a lot of conspiracy theorists out there, people who do that on the corner philosophizing that the government is not telling us the truth. So I'm curious, Do you find this report credible? You know, because if there was extraterrestrial life, like, would the government come out and tell us? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a physicist, and our job is to get information out of little bitty tiny bits of data. And so what we have here is a release of data. So as a physicist, we never trust the data. We don't trust the data if it's coming out of an instrument. We don't trust the data if it's an eyewitness. What we do is the data has to be validated, it has to be calibrated, and we have to get rid of anything that's unreliable in the data. So it's a matter of getting the raw data and analyzing it and extracting from it what you can, and then allowing that data to tell you the story. And I think what happens is, you know, we've all been primed. We've been watching sci-fi forever, right? All of our lives now. And people will inject their favorite idea into the unknown sometimes, right? So if I have no idea what it is, which is what everyone is saying, then what do I have? I have an open question, not let me insert aliens.
Right. That's fair. I think that's a really good point. I have to tell you, this week in doing research for this segment, I learned that there is something, I'm going to mispronounce it first and I'll say it the correct way, UFOologist. But it's actually pronounced ufologist, I believe. And they say that there isn't necessarily more sightings, but that people were home and perhaps paid more attention and saw more things, you know, flying around in the sky. What do you think? I mean, could the alien population be increasing and just be increasingly curious about what us Earthlings are up to?
You know, that's something that's hard to believe for an astrophysicist because, you know, when we think about these aliens, they're flying interstellar distances to visit our little planet, right? And so there is nothing you can get once you arrive that's worth the cost of the trip. So why would that be happening at all? In fact, you know, there's this assumption that they will be way more advanced. So think about it. When Columbus showed up in the Americas with his fleet of 3 ships, they were not the actual aircraft carriers, right? They were very early types of vehicles.
Right.
I'm being interrupted.
Yes, but I was going to say little alien babies around there somewhere trying to get your attention. Well, now we have to see the baby. The baby has made a TV debut. Let's see this little one who's disrupting.
All right, here it is. Come here, baby boy.
Yes, let's see really quickly. Oh, look at this adorable little one.
Okay. All right.
All right,
There he is,
Hakeem,
my little
thank you,
alien.
thank you. Yes, and
you so
adorable, I
much.
must say. Hakeem, you have to come back. I love
love
this
to. I
conversation
would
with
love to.
you. Yes, you have an open invitation, and we're going to be talking about gun violence later. So if aliens do show up, I hope they're bulletproof. But thank you again, Hakeem.
Thank
We'll
you so
see you
much.
next time,
Bye-bye.
and good luck with the book.